I make no promises today, people. I am on no sleep. I'm on my 6th cup of coffee. It's been a long night, long day. And once again, you are up front with Frank Rothstien on Sky's Crescent Radio at skyscrescentradio.com. Well, if you're seeing me live in this video, that means you're here with us on Twitch, or you're seeing the video feed over on Facebook, which is on Up Front with Frank Rothstien over there, or my personal page, where I think we're shared onto the Sky's Crescent Radio Facebook page. Also, you can find us at the website, skyscrescentradio.com. That's where we started. That was it. We just branched out from there. We had this website. The woman sitting with me, seemingly in a pajama top, is Jade Zabrick. Hello, Jade. She took a little water, poured it onto her electricity on top of the water, on top of the website, top of the circuitry, and it grew. And now we're on all these other sites. So pretty much sometimes water and electric does work. So you will actually find us on many, many websites, and everything is going pretty good. Okay, so all of you out there, yesterday, was Mother's Day. I hope you didn't screw it up. Everyone make that phone call. Say hello. And, well, what did I do? I was watching baseball yesterday. I was watching the Mets in the second game of their doubleheader. The Mets are leading the National League. I don't know what to do with myself. It's the Mets. I'm waiting for the All-Star break because I'm accustomed to them falling apart after the All-Star break. So I can enjoy it now, and I'm hoping it holds steady. But meantime, let's go Mets. What else is going on today? Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. News, of course. Yeah, we still have that war thing going on, and we have that disease thing going on, and all that stuff. But I'm still sitting here looking at all the social media and all the news coverage over the Kentucky Derby. Did any of you see the Kentucky Derby? Rich Strike came in first. Now, if you don't watch horse racing, I understand you don't know what I'm talking about. Rich Strike won the Kentucky Derby. He was, I think, the second longest shot ever to win the race in the 148th Kentucky Derby. I was watching this race. This is a horse that came from the 20 or 21st spot, the outside horse, all the way to the outside. And this wasn't just running around the track. He was bobbing and weaving. He was up and down, going through traffic. It was not the easiest, as they call it in racing, the easiest of rides. He had a tough trip, but he won the Kentucky Derby. And well, at 80-1, this horse paid $163.60 to win, $74.20 to place, $29.40 to show. And I'm looking at these numbers. I could not believe it. A $2 exacta, that's when you pick the first two horses, paid $4,101.20. A $1 trifecta, not even a $2, a $1 trifecta where you pick the first three, paid $14,870.70. And if you had a $1 superfect, not the usual $2 bet, $1 superfect, that paid, because there was another 35-1 horse in there. There was no real favorites. This bet, because this long shot horse came in, paid $321,500.10 if you pick the first four horses in a row. And I haven't read if anyone really picked that, but I'm sure somebody, we call it boxed, the 21, 3, 10, 13 combination of horses. And somebody, bang. That's incredible. This is a horse that was in a claiming race not too long ago, where the previous owner didn't care what happened, looked to get rid of it. Someone paid $30,000 for this horse. And here we are later as a Kentucky Derby winner. And stud fees on top of the, how much this horse would win? The purse for the winning horse was 1,860,000. Stud fees, the trainer is now top end, is now his fees have gone up. The jockey, I'm sure his fee is going up. Everyone did well today. So anyway, yeah, wow. I love the Kentucky Derby. I love Churchill Downs. That's the racetrack in Kentucky where they run. Churchill Downs. It is a very fair track, and the long shots can come in there on a regular basis. You can always make money betting at Churchill Downs. Don't gamble. It's not a good habit. But that is what happened. Wow. So I'm looking at Jade, and what is she fanning in her head? Because you can't see it. Jade had the superfecta. Jade has, and she purposely got a bunch of singles to get paid in $321,000 so she can fan all these singles at me and show me the winnings. Jade wins. There you go. And by the way, since we're talking about Jade, follow her on Twitch. She's out there doing her music videos, doing her instructional tutorials, taking music requests. She has a song set list prepared, that thick. She's got all kinds of stuff going on. Go say hello to Jade Zabrick on Twitch, on YouTube, and same with the website. Give us a little subscribe. Same as the YouTube Skies Crescent Radio page. We can always use a little like and subscribe. We'd like a like and subscribe over on Twitch. Just follow us around. See what happens. Give us a little follow. What is going on? I'm winging it today. Bear with me. I think my eyes are blinking. You're looking at one of the few guys who are getting older that can really still do an all night if he has to. Let's see. Let's see. I'm starting with a local story today because, well, the MTA is ordering bus drivers. If you're in New York City, you know what it's like. You have a city bus. The MTA is ordering bus drivers not to open back doors to combat fare evasion. So people looking to sneak in the back, not to pay the fare. Okay. Effective immediately to deter fare evasion. All right, that's what it says. Well, it will force people to walk in through the regular entrance, the front of the bus, yes. Does that mean people will not walk by the bus driver who is not going to get out to collect the $2.75 fare or whatever it is? I doubt it, but it will stop a few people from trying it. Not everybody wants to risk getting caught. We'll see what happens, but I like the idea of it because people don't want to pay. Then when the fares go up, I got to pay. So if I got to pay, everybody got to pay. And okay, we'll see what happens there. What is this? Let's just go hopping around because you know me, when I start doing this stuff, I'm all over the place. I'm looking at the Associated Press and the Lithuanian Foreign Minister Gabrielis Landsbergis has said that where is it? That Vladimir Putin's Victory Day speech was underwhelming, and that the gloomy faces of generals and others were signs of failing in the Ukraine war. Okay. He's actually looking to see the leadership regime changed. He wants leadership changed. If I don't read the entire story here. Pretty much, as I'm getting some snippets from other stories I'm reading, to put it in the most basic of terms, without going too far into it, is that Vladimir Putin is becoming bad for business. He's threatens one, he's threatening another. He's going after Ukraine, hiding behind the idea that he's trying to wipe out Nazism in a country that's not suffering from Nazism. Yes, you'll find the Nazis somewhere, I guess, in every country, but the president of the country is Jewish. I doubt he's a Nazi. So, yeah, this is not quite sure what's going to be over there, but somehow I get the impression that the Russian president is bad for business. So I keep watching the news. There's no shortage of coverage, as we all know. Okay, let's get a little simpler. What's going on? I'm looking at, everything is getting more expensive in food. Even the cost of eggs has gone up. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot when I say that a dozen eggs went from, depending on where you are, from say $4 to $5 or $6. It doesn't sound like a crazy thing, but when you think about the percentage, it's huge. And now I'm reading this headline from CBS News. This was from the other day, a couple of days ago, that bakers warn of summer surge in bread prices due to war in Ukraine. Well, what comes out of Ukraine? Wheat. It says a summer surge of prices is looming at grocery stores and restaurants as the bread industry is warning of a perfect storm that could spark sticker shock at checkout. That's the first opening line. The H&S Bakery in Baltimore, which makes and ships breads to grocery stores and restaurants across the East Coast, is scrambling as ingredients are increasingly in short supply. Well, okay, it says you're going to see another increase in July. That's going to impact another 35% increase in flour. Yeah, flour is a biggie when you're baking. Yeah, and like I said, eggs have gone up in general. So yeah, think about all the things that are used in flour, used in cooking with flour and of course eggs. And you're going to see a lot of things going up. And you may see fried product that rely on batter to adjust its recipe. Even baked goods, you may see people adjusting to get rid of flour or to cut down on flour and seeing how they can substitute. So yeah, look out for your prices, see what's going on, because you never know what's going to happen when they either give you less or just jack up the price. It's 5. Wow, it's almost a quarter after the hour. I'm a happy guy. This first 15 minutes, it's flying by. Let's see. I got this story from ABC News. This is interesting. It says parents face backlash after 6-year-old is allowed to run a full marathon. It says he was struggling physically. It says the kid's father wrote on Instagram that his youngest son did struggle physically during the race. Okay, this comes from Cincinnati. Crossing the finish line and a marathon is often a time to celebrate, but one running family is facing criticism after their 6-year-old was allowed to enter and complete the Flying Pig Marathon in Cincinnati. Rainer Crawford, 6 years old, ran the 26.2-mile course with his 5 siblings and parents, finishing in 8 hours and 35 minutes. Says some of the training was like hard. I failed sometimes, but sometimes when I did one, I was like normal. That's picture a 6-year-old saying this. Yeah, he said he was struggling physically and wanted to take a break, sit every 3 minutes. I don't know if that's good for a 6-year-old. First of all, I don't know how a 6-year-old can even complete it, even with rest. I didn't know he would even be mentally tough enough to do that, because that's tough. But I don't know if that's good for a 6-year-old. It's their bones are still forming, their muscles aren't that great yet. It's the way I was taught is that kids, even through like mid-teenage years, their bones are like taffy. They get stretched, they wave until they can't break. That actually happened with me. I have a broken coccyx, right coccyx, and through an injury, I used to play a lot of ball, pivot, stretch, and whatever. Anyway, and it happened to me when I was like about 15 or 16, and I just felt it one day. Now this is a 6-year-old kid. This has got to be tough on knees, on muscles. I hope it's only one and done. I don't want to see this kid doing every 26, 0.2. I want this kid to be able to walk by the time he's 25. So, yeah, he was. Yeah, here's what it says. After 7 hours, We finally got to the 20 to mile 20, only to find an abandoned table and empty boxes. He was crying and we were moving slow. So I told him I'd buy him 2 sleeves of potato chips if he kept moving. So this is why the parents are having a problem. The kid was crying. It's not for a kid to do. It really isn't. It really isn't. Not at 6. It's not enough. Even if his body is able to do it, his mind can't. It's get parents pushing him, pushing. So anyway, that's what's going on. I'll always say the most well-intended, loving of parents will find a way to screw up a kid. Let's see what they do to this kid's knees by the time he's driving. Oh my. Listen, I don't write this stuff. I really don't. I don't write this stuff. So I'm reading also, speaking of not writing this stuff, and I hope they don't use my picture. I got this story from May 3rd. It says NASA to launch naked pictures of humans into space in hopes of attracting aliens. This came from the Sun. It says NASA scientists plan to launch naked pictures of naked humans into space in the hope of luring aliens to us. The depictions, which also include an invitation to respond should an intelligent alien race find space nudes. Only we could think of this stuff. Why would aliens want to come here? I mean, the idea that we're alone in the universe is probably crazy. When I hear scientists saying this planet cannot support life, as we know it, well, probably not as we know it, but you don't know what other forms of life are out there. We've already sent out the ashes of the late actor James Doohan, who played Mr. Scott in Star Trek. For the Beatles, we sent out the song Across the Universe. Pretty cool. I liked it. I don't know if anybody heard it because the signal can't get out that kind of far, but I like the idea of it. Scotty is out in space. The Beatles are singing to the stars. I think that's great. Now we're going to send out nudes. So whose pictures are we sending out? Well, if based on our history, maybe we'll be sending out old photos of Marilyn Monroe or some other Playboy, whoever, or maybe they'll send out a variety of looks and appearances. I don't know. Maybe we'll show them pictures of what we do here in daily life. And maybe aliens will be afraid of us and not want to come to this planet. Because maybe War of the Worlds will become a real thing if people get a whiff, if other life forms get a whiff of what we're doing here. So yeah, I don't know what they're sending it out in, but good luck. Oh man, Jade, do you want your pictures being sent out to space? Jade's up for it. Okay. We'll send her out and we'll get some pictures of Jade. Okay. Let's see. She's not talking too much. I'm getting like shoulder shrugs and okay, I don't care. So okay, I guess, because like in the Bugs Bunny cartoons, it'll be seen by a gremlin. Maybe in Star Trek, it'll be seen by a Romulan, a Vulcan, a Klingon. That'll be it. Jade, the Klingons are gonna come to you, and you're gonna go live on the Klingon homeworld, and that'll be what's going on. I think that some of these stories are just ridiculously funny, and I like them. That's what I gotta say. We're gonna send out pictures of nude humans to space. Next up, what else is, speaking of Marilyn Monroe, because maybe we'll send her picture out there. I'm reading this story from May 3rd. This had to do with the Met Gala. And it seems that Kim Kardashian wanted to wear the gown that Marilyn Monroe wore. Yeah. She acquired the dress, one of Marilyn's dresses. Yeah. For the Met Gala. And it says, well, here it is. The headline is Marilyn Monroe experts say Kim Kardashian isn't worthy. That gown is a national treasure. Well, Kim is worth about $1 billion, so I'm sure she could pay the rental fee. We know Marilyn will never rest in peace because there were just some figures in history that just everyone always says rest in peace, but some of them don't get to do that. Michael Jackson being one, Elvis being another, President Kennedy being a third, Marilyn being, it's the way it goes. So it says, while many pondered, how do you even go about acquiring a dress Marilyn wore? Some experts were not happy when Kim ascended the steps Monday at the Met Gala, wearing the Hollywood legend's most iconic dress. And that will be the dress she wore when she sang Happy Birthday to the late President John Kennedy. So that's what it is. This dress previously was purchased for $5 million at auction to get a hold of that. Wow. Kim even forced herself to lose weight to fit into the curvaceous look. Then wow, later changed into a replica to keep it. Okay, got it. She wore it for a few minutes and changed into a replica. All right. Well, Kim is is attractive, but she ain't Marilyn. Nobody is. Okay, the experts are upset. What can I say? What else is going on here? This is from May 4th. I got this from the Daily Wire. And we had discussed this before, and when it comes to like comics, sci-fi, there's a million different timelines, all this stuff. And one of the timelines, Superman, Clark Kent, or as by his Krypton name, Kal-El, did marry Lois Lane and they had a kid. So they had there's another Superman, son of Superman, I guess. And this Superman is gay. Okay, fine. Superman is gay. Well, I joked around about it a while ago because all you ever see in the news now is anyone even touches someone on the shoulder, taps them on the back, hi, how are you? You whatever, everything's inappropriate. Don't do this, don't make the first move. So what if Superman goes to give somebody a kiss? Guy or girl, makes no difference. What if Superman goes to make the first move and you don't want it? Well, it's pretty tough to fight off Superman. Anyway, that's just when I was kicking around the first time I read about this. Lately, this is from May 4th, it says gay Superman's boyfriend gets him a surprising new gift in DC's latest caper. And it turns out that Superman's cape is the stuff of legends, but now the DC Comics has made the latest iteration to the Man of Steel's bisexual. The garment that allows him to fly is getting a gay makeover. I am reading this. This is from the article itself. It says a preview of the upcoming DC Pride anthology has John Kent getting a new cape from his boyfriend, Jay Nakamura. The cape incorporates all the colors of the rainbow, the pride flag. Okay, I'm curious. Where did this guy get the material to make Superman's cape? Superman's cape is his uniform, his costume is supposed to be indestructible because, well, it's Superman. So I'm trying to figure out, unless you make a lot of them, because Superman has a sort of a rough lifestyle. I'm trying to figure out how this material will endure unless you're buying a lot of bolts of silk or whatever it's made of. But okay. So yeah, Superman's getting a little bit of a makeover. Okay. There you go. Yeah, he's son of Kal-El. Well, I actually never read this. I was always a Superman fan. My brother was a devoted Batman fan. I was always a Superman fan. And the way I read it, when Krypton was exploding, his father put him in this little rocket ship, sent him out to space here. landed here, closer to a yellow sun, super strength. We all know what Superman can do. And it just seems that every time you turn around, there's somebody else flying. There was all the other enemies in the Superman movies. There was Supergirl. There was Crypto the dog, who looked like a white Labrador retriever, or maybe like a bleached out Dalmatian. And yeah, seems that a lot of people got off of Crypto. But anyway, Superman has a new cape. Cool. What else is going on here? Oh man, let's see. I was reading the Robb Report. Do you know what the Robb Report is? ROBB report.com. This is the magazine and website that specializes in showing everything that the super rich can afford. Things that you and I may never see in person. Things, whether it's a watch, a car, a jet, boat, clothes, anything. This article is about not flying cars. We're about to see the world's first flying motorcycle. It'll be available commercially in 2023. It says Jetpack Aviation, which already makes vertical people propellers, just announced a successful test flight of its jet-driven flying motorcycle prototype. The projected performance is easy rider worthy, badass, and best of all, the California company plans to produce 2 consumer versions for everyday users. Now I'm looking at this. This is almost very James Bond. And let me tell you something. A lot of things you see come from science fiction, just come from fiction. I keep saying that over and over and over. When you see videos on YouTube or anywhere about people using jetpacks, wherever they're going, they have jetpacks. That came from James Bond. Sean Connery wore that. He was the first James Bond. And it was a great scene. Of course, he's getting away from the bad guys, whatever's going on, his music is playing, and the little running music and whatever it is. And all of a sudden, dips behind the wall, and you hear his music, da-da-da-da-da-da, and out he comes out with a jetpack on his back, going from the roof to a car where the girl is waiting in one of his great little cars, and they drive off. And that came from James Bond. I'm looking at this motorcycle. It has 4 jet propulsion units on it, if this is anything active, with looks like only one person can ride on it, obviously. I want to see this thing work. I know they already have a flying car. I want to see how this thing works. This will cost a fortune unless somebody is donating. Well, it says the ultralight version will be limited to 60 miles an hour. That's the FAA rules, with a flight time of 15 minutes. Okay, the speed of this version, yeah, that's for riding. The experimental version will require a basic pilot's license to fly. The speed of this version will be approximately 250 miles an hour with a flight time of 35 minutes. Yeah, the jetpack, yeah, I got it. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I don't want one because I hate heights, but this looks pretty good. And someone's going to be hearing that James Bond music in their head. I know it. I know it. I didn't bring a lot of stories today. Just one of those days, we're just talking. I think I'll devote a lot of this thing to just talking. It's interesting. I don't know where these stories ever come from. I pull them off the New York Post, as I always tell people, because the Post in itself just prints up good on my house printer. I have to print a story out. And they do get everybody's feeds. This is an interesting story only because, well, let's get into it a little bit. The headline says, woman jailed for poking holes in lover's condoms to get pregnant. Well, now, it says she received widespread condemnation. All right, that's a cute line. German woman has been jailed for sneakily poking holes in her lover's condoms in an underhanded attempt to get pregnant. We have written legal history here today. Judge Astrid Saluski told the court the act of contraceptive sabotage, that sounds pretty good, contraceptive sabotage, which was committed by an unnamed 39-year-old woman against her 42-year-old partner. It was known as stealthing. The CD practice occurs when someone removes the condom during sexual intercourse. The perpetrator had reportedly been involved in a friends with benefits style relationship with the victim since 2021 and would regularly meet up for, and I quote, hanky panky. I never say that. That's in the article. However, she soon craved a deeper connection, a feeling that was not shared with the guy she was with, and she decided to perforate her partner's prophylactics without his consent. For the record, she never became pregnant. However, she sent him a WhatsApp message claiming she was and also admitted to tampering with the lovers. Okay. He pressed charges, and here we are today. This is an interesting subject because usually when you talk about something going on, whether it's rape, the headline here says more, for other stories, more on rape. So whether it's rape, it's abuse of one way, theft, anything to do with sexual act. This is interesting. And yes, this is a crime. Make no mistake about it. Certainly, had the guy put a little pinhole in this condom and had sex with a woman and she got pregnant, there would be a problem. If she didn't get pregnant and he told her this, he would be arrested for rape or whatever, for whatever charges you could think of, especially contraceptive sabotage. I like that phrase. So this is an interesting subject. Now, I don't know how this is happening in the act of sex, but okay, she did it. I'm trying to think of how this would work. Maybe, because condoms come in a packet. Maybe she decided she's going to put it on him, open it up, and did something to it. But this is interesting. And why it's interesting, mainly because of the crime at hand, and also all the things that are going on, in the world today, as we know, with the Supreme Court and Roe versus Wade and all that. And I'm seeing all these little photographs and captions all over social media saying pregnancy begins with a man's penis. I've seen this all over the place. Well, obviously, right now, this may not be true. I'm not saying this is a daily occurrence with every couple. I'm not saying half the couples out there have this problem, but this sets back the argument or the point miles. This is a horrible crime. This really is. Yeah, I don't know what she was thinking. And then what was she going to do if she got pregnant? Hold this guy as the father of the child, make him pay forever when he didn't even know that she did it. This is an interesting case. That she went to jail is a good thing. And this is now on the books. And this, she removed the condom during intercourse and somehow. Okay. Well, there you go. I think it's an interesting crime. I'm glad she got punished for it. We'll see how that works. Yeah, it says here, after mulling a rape charge, the lawmakers reduced it to sexual assault after revealing the crime of stealthing is a law document. Judge Saluski reasoned that while the crime is usually committed by man, provision also applies for the reverse case. Why do I get the impression that if the situation was reversed, if the man tampered with the condom, he would have far more troubles than what this woman received. This would be called out and out rape. It is not, it would not be unusual. We've heard these stories enough times where during the act of intercourse, someone removes the condom without her, before she has a word to say. Sometimes it just breaks, it happens, but we're talking about an intentional act. So let's say he just, without her consent, without her, before she even realizes that he's removed the condom, and here we are, something happens, she's pregnant, or even he tells her. This now becomes rape because she wanted to get pregnant. And in the other case, if he would have got her pregnant, if he would have taken it off, this would have been a bigger problem. So somehow here, I'm under the impression, because it was a woman who committed the crime, they reduced to sexual assault. Well, for everything, there's a first time. This is a rare occasion. What is everyone else up to? Let's see what's going on Twitch. We can always use a few comments. Twitch has been around a while. I started looking at it when it first started, which is probably a while before a lot of you have seen it. And it's an interesting place. All sorts of things out here. I come out here to look, well, besides doing this, to look for backgammon players online. I don't see them out here. And again, backgammon is a very old game, and everybody wants to sit home with their goggles, with little helmets, looking like this, and playing video games. So what can I say? Yeah, let's see how I look. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they all want the little helmets on, playing video games. So yeah. But it's an interesting place. There's a lot going on out here. You can watch movies. You can do a lot of things. There are worse places on the internet than Twitch. I gotta tell you. I have to admit that. But it works out okay. It works out okay. Everything else is going pretty well. Let's see. Mother's Day passed yesterday. All right. And still doing the weight thing. All right. Jade's picking up her traction out here on Twitch and on YouTube. So follow Jade. Somebody's in trouble outside. Follow them also. Follow the police. Get some YouTube videos. And everything is going pretty well. My mind is going blank because, again, I didn't sleep last night. So I'm just winging it today. I didn't look for too many stories. I'm just winging it today. So, what can you do, right? And I wish I would have bet that horse yesterday, so I could have simply taken the day off. Yeah, that would have been really cool. So, oh, and by the way, just before I'm letting everybody know, our old friend Catherine Lewis, who's been a guest on this show more times than anyone else, and her friend Vern Woodhead. They'll be performing at the Rockwood Music Hall, Stage 1, on May 19th from 6 to 7. Tomorrow night at the Thompson Chemist, 132 Thompson Street in New York City, will be the Thompson Street Medicine Show. That's where Cat returns, along with, of course, the leader, Sheriff Bob. And they do their country music inside of a pharmacy, which comes out pretty well. They've received a lot of press. You can find them they've been mentioned in the New York Times, CBS News, The Dig, Spectrum, all over the place. And Jade has a show coming up again. Wait, let me get Jade. What was it again? May 27th. Jade's going to type in the name and date into the chat stream. May 27th at wait, I forgot the name of the hotel. Again, I don't know. My brain is blank. Bear with me, please. So it's coming up May 27th. Where is it, Jade? I'm looking at the chat stream. Where is it? Give us details. The Element Hotel in Harrison, New Jersey. What time, Jade? 7 to 10 p.m. She'll be out there a long time. Do you have any merch to buy? Do you have any merch? Somehow, I still want to know when merchandise became merch. That really throws me out. That's annoying. Everything has to be abbreviated. So I don't know when merchandise, souvenirs became merchandise. Merchandise became merch. All right. What can you do? But anyway, go check her out. Jade's a good act. At jadezabrickmusic.com. Yeah, there you go. Promote, baby. Promote. Let it out. Let it out. And everything else is going pretty good. We're almost 3/4 of the way there. I think I'll ramble on for a few more minutes, and then we're going to raid somebody else's show and see who we can annoy and make friends with and all that stuff. And by the way, go to Jade's other spots, the Train Walkers. That's her band, the Train Walkers, trainwalkers.com. And I've been looking for, some of my old friends on social media from the last station we were at. Still keeping up, looking at the old website that one of the old former hosts still has, called Chirp About It. Chirpaboutit.com, local social media where you can tell everybody what's going on in the city if you want. That's owned by Pat Sainville. Jade, is there anybody you want to plug? No, Jade's not plugging anybody. They're not plugging anybody. The hell with them. Just the hell with them. And everything is going good. Still looking on that weight thing. It's incredible. I refer to it as cheap weight. The bigger you are, the more cheap weight you can get rid of. What is cheap weight? Well, that's when all the water starts coming out of you. You just start losing weight fast. Around New Year's Day, that all changed. And I've got a few pounds off since then, but pretty much I've been hovering at the same spot. Give or take 1 or 2 pounds. Still there, but I'm hovering no matter what I do. The other day, I just cut off my right leg to see what would happen, and it still weighed the same thing. And I got a big leg, so I put the leg back on. I'll see what else I can get rid of. Maybe I'll just cut off my torso and see if I drop a few pounds. And I'll go from head to hip. I'll hop on the scale and see what I drop. But let me tell you, at this stage, it's getting tough. It really is. It's getting tough. But I still eat my lean stuff. Still washing off the tuna fish. And yes, that's my thing. I'm washing tuna fish, which means I open cans of tuna. I put them inside a little hand strainer that you would cook with, like when you open vegetables and pour it into the thing. And I rinse it off in the cool water. And why? Because that gets rid of any excess salt and oils that may be on tuna, and residual, salt, like I said, salt and oils. And pretty much you're left with protein, just protein. So I eat that. Then I discovered real food again. Not going crazy, but you'd be surprised. One person years ago, I'm going back 30 years ago, someone referred to it to me as your body, when it comes to losing weight, your body is like a bookmaker. It wants its share. It wants its vig. Vig is when you're gambling, it's the 10% that whether you win or whether the bookmaker doesn't lose. No, they work on percentage. They work on what's called vig, which is called vigorish. Vig is 10%. Whether the teams win or lose, no matter who wins or loses, they are making their 10%. So no matter what I eat, no matter what I do, if I'm not ultra careful, my body wants its 10%. It's retaining something. And that's how it works. So, always watch out for salt intake, see what fat intake is there. I had a huge breakfast today. Since I was up, it was like 8 in the morning. By the time I got home, I found the place. I got a load of eggs, did a little bit of a giant all-American breakfast, which I haven't done in a while. But sometimes you just got it. Keeps the mind sane. And everything else is going good. That's all I got to say. Everything else is going good. We're having some fun out here on Twitch. I have a few shows up on Sky's Crescent radio page. My personal page, Upfront Frank, isn't all that popular. It's just me. There's one recording of me saying hello, but please follow us anyway. Follow me, follow Jade, follow the station, and come along wherever we may lead you. Feel free to ask any question you want. And if you don't want to ask it here, you can always ask it to me in an email, upfrontfrank@gmail.com, upfrontfrank@gmail.com. And I keep telling people, if you ever have an urge, an itch to try this on your own, to create your own show of any kind, just write into it. skyscrescentradio@gmail.com. We have a lot of emails. Skies, SKYES, Crescent Radio @gmail.com. Type in your name, your information, and someone will get back to you very fast, and you can discuss all that needs to be, all that needs to be discussed. It's interesting because sometimes I know I'm not all that on today. Like I said, I wasn't sleeping so fast, so I'm a little bit off today. I know. I'm sorry for that. But it's interesting because it's difficult. I shouldn't say difficult, but it's interesting. Sometimes it's a bit challenging to create a show for an hour to talk because, well, what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the odd end stories of what goes on in the world. I'm not taking things off the headlines so fast, unless I really have to. But a lot of the things I talk about, like punching holes in condoms, is you're not going to find that so fast in the news. But sometimes you get an interesting story about one topic or another, technology, medicine, whatever it may be, someone screaming in the street, but you never know what's going to come up. And it is an interesting world out there. And we want to hear from you. Now, Jade never discussed with me so far, because it's still relatively new for her, so it's been a while, the process of getting all the songs that she puts together and making loops, putting the beats to it and constructing it. And sometimes she edits it. So there is a process to it. And it's a lot. It's some of it's a lot. Some of it just flows out of your mouth. But you should give it a try. It could be fun. And here I am rambling. All right. So it's pretty much 10 to 6 New York time. I think we're going to wrap it up because how much can you ramble, right? Everyone, I'm glad you were here. Have a great week. Don't forget, Jade is it's in the chat. Jade's appearing May 27th at the Element Hotel in New Jersey, Harrison, New Jersey, from 7 to 10 p.m. Come visit us at the Thompson Chemist, 132 Thompson Street, New York City, tomorrow night from 6 to 8 p.m. for the Thompson Street Medicine Show, and see what's going on, because places you don't normally go have a lot of good things. You'll have new stories to tell. Everyone, I hope you find a few new stories to tell this week. Tell it to your friends. Tell it well. And I will see you next week. Good night.